Today I'm gonna do something kinda different. As you may know, 3D printing isn't something we talk about a lot on this channel, but I would be lying if I said it is something I've not been interested in for years, even though due to my work and hardly any time, I feel like I kept this hobby on the back burner for a while. So when I got this package from HeyGears, it was a great opportunity I couldn't pass up. Now, you might be wondering about the brand HeyGears, and that's fair because aside from the 3 or 4 top names in the 3D printing scene, HeyGears isn't even in the top 10. However, you can rest assured that HeyGears has a solid background in industrial printing. They actually specialize in dental and prosthetics printing machines, but those are far from consumer grade and probably uncomfortable to most people. And even before we start, let me tell you, if you are a designer or someone who values his time or someone who has little to no experience in 3D printing, this one is probably a great start. I don't think it gets any better than this. Watching reviews and drive testing the 3D printer for a better part of a month, I can think of it as a printer that most people can get. Think of it like this. You know how in almost everything, when you are an outsider looking in or have never practiced something, you think it is really easy. But in reality, there is a lot that goes under the hood, and 99% of the time, you would suck at it. Well, not with this one because this is exactly how I imagine 3D printing using resin. The Reflex RS is in many ways the smaller sibling to the Reflex, but it retains almost all of its qualities. Well, at least ones that are gonna be important to most people. The RS even managed to cram a bigger build volume, and they did this somehow considering the smaller form factor. The RS, like the Reflex, comes with the industrial build, which I really like, although I admit this is subjective. But what is objectively true is that the build quality is top-notch. For example, the open over lid can be easily lifted and held at any position, which is a genius design choice. Plus, it takes little to no vertical space. On the back, you have a data cable socket and a hose inlet for the PRM, which is the pulse release module that HeyGears sells separately. On the right, you've got the power socket for the external power transformer, a power switch and 2 sockets for USB and micro SD card slots. Inside the build plate, unlike other brands, you have stainless steel, which is not easily scratchable, and aluminum with this edge hexagonal surface pattern, which promotes really good adherence. The build plate attaches to the Z-arm with this compression latch, which is okay, although I feel like I need to push it really hard to get it to lock in properly. Something else that I have to mention after doing multiple prints on this, the build plate is completely flat, so you will get a layer of resin stuck up there after every print. Granted, they do offer a plate form transfer tool, which covers the entire vat, and it is a great option to remove models into, but I think a slight surface taper wouldn't fix all that. When it comes to leveling, the build plate is auto-leveled from the factory, and thanks to the built-in sensors all over the printer, you can actually auto-level the plate and even see exactly how leveled each corner is within 10 microns. But with this printer, you honestly don't need to know all about that, because the printer will do everything for you. Moving to vat, this chunky boy is able to store up to 900 millimeters of resin, as you can clearly see on the side. The protrusion on the side that you can see is used to allow the resin to follow from the HeyGears spring-loaded valve bottles to the vat. Now on the screen, the vat sits above 10.3 8K LCD screen. The screen provides a pixel size of 29.7 micrometers, with the accuracy of about 15 microns, and a peak print speed of 4.5 seconds per layer. Now you might think that 8K is not enough, but trust me, the quality that this printer can pull off is downright great, especially if you factor in the ease of use. Like for example, check this test print that I achieved doing absolutely nothing. It is literally drag and drop print, and the machine handled everything for me. Again, if you are a 3D printing expert, you do understand how frustrating and time-consuming calibration really is, and it is especially painful for a lot of people. But from now on, with printers like this, I think this is gonna be the new standard. And I think this is a great time to address the elephant in the room, the proprietary resin. Now, I'm not gonna pretend like I've been printing for years, and I understand all the struggles and challenges that come with 3D printing. But if there is one thing that I enjoyed these past few weeks, it had to be not worrying about the technicalities and numbers and calibrations too much. Before I started using the RS, I thought like everyone else, I was gonna need to do a lot of fiddling around to get the perfect print. But in reality, I didn't do much. Actually, I didn't do anything. And the reason why HeyGears can provide this level of quality and ease of use is due in part to their custom resin, which ensures a perfect print every single time. On top of that, you get live print support directly inside the slicer. Not just hardware support, but actual print support from HeyGears. You can talk to the support team and get a response within hours, and you can explain exactly the problem you're having and attach a print file, and an expert from their team will walk you through a step-by-step guide on how to fix the issue. Like I said before, it actually doesn't get any better than that. Now, I talked about the hardware in length, but I didn't touch on the software side of things. The RS comes with a smaller LCD than the Reflex, but it retains all the functions. The UI is really simple, it is thoughtfully laid out, and the placement of everything makes sense for the most part, but it gets the job done. For example, when printing, the most important details are the most visible, like the remaining print time or how many layers are left, which is awesome to see. Another thing I like about the workflow is that you can send models wirelessly to the printer from your computer. So you can sit at your desk, sending stuff, and all of them will end up on your job list, instead of having to transfer each one of them one at a time. And this brings us to the slicer itself, Blueprint Studio. The software, like the printer, is top-notch. I heard it described as a well-oiled system, and I have to agree. You simply select your printer, resin type, and layer quality level, then you import your models, auto-support them, click, slice, and print. This is the workflow every single time. You can do these steps one by one manually, if you wish to. But in my experience, if you let the software do its thing, usually this yields better results. However, sometimes I had to orient the models myself before supporting them. And also with certain 3D models, it is better to adjust the support settings manually. And all your sliced objects are saved either locally on your PC, in the cloud, or both. However, my biggest gripes with HeyGears isn't only the proprietary resin. While I don't fully agree with their approach, I do understand where they are coming from. The thing that's confusing to me is the online requirements to use the software. For some reason, before you are able to use the slicer, you need to convert to HeyGears server, and this step cannot be skipped. Alright, editing time. HeyGears actually contacted us about the issue of online requirements, and I'm happy to announce that the non-login mode is now available in Blueprint Studio. With this change, you can now slice your models even without the internet connection, and it does not require even account registration or login. The sliced files, however, can be printed using a USB stick. You can also submit feedback and receive technical support, but you'll be missing features like parse library, remote file sending, and print job status tracking. Now, in conclusion, do I recommend this printer? Absolutely, because it is one of the best printers in the market right now. But is it for everyone? I don't think so. Some people will hate it and others will love it. If you are an artist, a designer, or a creative in general, and you value your time, then definitely by all means, this is the printer to get. But remember that you are not just buying the hardware. As Raz from the Foxhammer YouTube channel said, you are buying the promise of stable printing. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Generally speaking, this printer can be great for hobbyists for an obvious reason, as well as professionals and engineers, and people who need this level of quality, and even for creating industrial prints. It offers easy prototyping of parts, and I've seen people use it to print industrial parts, and even jewelry if you are into those sorts of things. Some resin types are great for that as well. Personally, I think I'm spoiled when it comes to resin printing. because I know I'm gonna have to move to different printers and I will have to deal with calibration, timing, resin types and other stuff, which is not really great. Talking about resin, I've seen people make this printer work with third-party resin and being able to get just as good of a result as using HeyGears resin, which shows that the printer is able to handle much more. So guys, if you are interested in this 3D printer, this is the perfect time to grab one or grab one of their machines for a huge discount. So click the link in the description down below to check HeyGears and learn more about their consumer industrial grade printers right now. And there you have it guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also please subscribe to this channel to receive more videos about 3D printing in the future. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.